Hi viewers, L hope you are fine. Wow, this is actually beautiful, my sister said as she walked into the baby shower venue, slowly looking around the decorated hall with a smile that never reached her eyes. I should have known that smile meant trouble. My name is Hannah, and at 32 years old, I was 8 months pregnant with my second child. My son Liam was 8, and for the past 4 years, it had been just the two of us against the world. His father walked away when Liam was still a toddler. No calls, no birthdays, no explanations. At first, I thought the pain would destroy me. I spent nights crying quietly in the bathroom so Liam wouldn't hear me. I worked 2 jobs, survived on coffee and exhaustion, and smiled through every school meeting pretending I had everything under control. But somehow, Liam became my reason to keep going. He was gentle, smart, protective, too protective for a child his age. When I found out I was pregnant again after a short relationship that ended before I even knew about the baby, I almost broke apart completely. I knew people would judge me. A second child, another absent father. And unfortunately, I was right, especially when it came to my older sister, Vanessa. Vanessa had the perfect life on the outside. A wealthy husband, a giant house, matching family photos online. She loved appearances more than people. Still, when my best friend Mia insisted on organizing a baby shower for me, I agreed. For once, I wanted one happy memory before my daughter arrived. The room was filled with soft music, white roses, tiny pink decorations, and warm lights. Liam helped arrange gift bags while proudly telling everyone he was going to be the best big brother ever. Watching him smile healed parts of me nobody knew were still broken. But then Vanessa arrived, wearing an expensive cream-colored dress and carrying a gift bag that looked more decorative than thoughtful. She walked straight toward me with that same fake smile. "Oh Hannah," she sighed loudly enough for nearby guests to hear. Another baby shower. Another missing father. The room became painfully quiet. I forced a smile. Today is about the baby. But Vanessa wasn't finished. "At least when my daughter grows up," she said, touching her designer purse proudly. "She'll have a complete family." I felt my chest tighten instantly. Some guests looked away awkwardly. Others pretended not to hear. And then she laughed. Not loudly, not cruelly. Worse, softly, casually, like humiliating me was normal. "At least my baby has a dad." Those 6 words shattered something inside me. I looked down at my hands because I refused to cry in front of everyone. Not again. But what Vanessa didn't notice was Liam standing nearby, listening to every word. And what happened next silenced the entire room. Mid-conflict and betrayal, Liam slowly walked toward us, clutching the small paper plate he'd been holding moments earlier. His little face looked confused. Hurt. He looked up at Vanessa innocently and asked, "Then why does Mom cry after talking about your husband?" The entire room froze. I stopped breathing. Vanessa's smile disappeared instantly. "What?" she snapped. But Liam continued softly, not realizing the storm he had just unleashed. "I heard Grandma telling Mom that Uncle Daniel keeps leaving you alone, and that he stays with another lady in the city." A glass dropped somewhere behind us. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Vanessa's face turned pale so quickly it frightened me. "Liam," I whispered quickly, kneeling beside him. "Sweetheart, that's enough." But it was too late. Because the truth had already entered the room. And the worst part? I knew Liam wasn't lying. 3 months earlier, my mother accidentally revealed that Vanessa's husband had been having an affair for over a year. Apparently, he barely came home anymore. Vanessa spent thousands pretending her marriage was perfect while privately begging him not to leave her. I never told anyone because despite everything, she was still my sister. But standing there, humiliated in front of everyone, Vanessa suddenly looked less powerful than she ever had before. She looked broken. For a second, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Then she glared at me like this was somehow my fault. "You let him hear those conversations?" she hissed. "I didn't," I answered honestly. "Children notice more than we think." The room became unbearably tense. Vanessa grabbed her purse angrily. "This family loves embarrassing me." Before leaving, she looked directly at me and said something I'll never forget. "You think being alone makes you strong, Hannah? No, It just means nobody stayed. And then she walked out. Those words followed me for days. Nobody stayed. Late that night after the baby shower, I sat alone in my apartment folding tiny baby clothes while Liam slept beside me on the couch. And for the first time in years, I allowed myself to admit how tired I was. Tired of pretending rejection didn't hurt. Tired of carrying everything alone. Tired of acting strong because I had no choice. I kept wondering if Vanessa was right. Maybe people only leave women who aren't worth staying for. But 2 days later, something happened that changed everything. My mother called me crying. Vanessa's husband Daniel had officially moved out. Not only that, he left her drowning in debt. The luxury bags, expensive vacations, giant house. It had all been built on loans and appearances. Vanessa had secretly borrowed money trying to maintain the perfect life she showed everyone online. And now the truth was collapsing around her. For the next few weeks, nobody heard from her. Until one rainy evening, she knocked on my apartment door. I opened it and barely recognized her. No makeup, no expensive clothes, no confidence, just red eyes and silence. I didn't know where else to go, she whispered. And suddenly, I saw something I had never seen in my sister before. Not arrogance, not pride, pain, real pain, ending, revenge, climax and moral. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Rain poured outside while Liam quietly watched cartoons in the living room. Vanessa looked around my tiny apartment, the cramped kitchen, the worn sofa. The piles of baby supplies squeezed into every corner. This life she used to mock was suddenly the only safe place she had left. I lost everything, she whispered finally. I crossed my arms carefully over my pregnant stomach. You still had no right to humiliate me. Tears filled her eyes instantly. I know, that shocked me more than anything. Vanessa never apologized, not sincerely, but now her voice sounded empty. I spent years trying to make everyone believe I had the perfect marriage, she admitted quietly. Every time I looked at you surviving on your own, I hated it. I frowned. Hated what? The fact that you were stronger than me. Her words hit me deeply. She explained that while I learned how to survive heartbreak honestly, she spent years hiding hers behind money, parties, and fake smiles. I laughed at you because I envied you, she said through tears. You were abandoned, but you still kept going. I stayed with someone who destroyed me because I was terrified of being alone. For the first time in years, I truly understood my sister. Not the cruel version, the frightened version underneath, and somehow, that hurt more. Liam slowly walked into the kitchen then, holding his favorite blanket. He looked at Vanessa carefully before asking the most innocent question. Are you sad because Uncle Daniel left? Vanessa broke down crying immediately. And my 8-year-old son, the same child who accidentally exposed her secret, walked over and hugged her without hesitation. Children are strange like that. They don't care about pride. They care about pain. Weeks passed. Vanessa eventually moved into a small apartment nearby and started rebuilding her life quietly. No more fake photos. No more pretending. And me? A month later, I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl named Emma. When I held her for the first time, Liam stood beside me proudly whispering, "She's lucky because she has us. Not a perfect family, not a rich family, but a real one." And in that moment, I realized something important. People spend too much time measuring love by who stays romantically. But love is bigger than that. Love is the child who holds your hand when you're crying. The friend who decorates your baby shower when nobody else cares. The strength to wake up every morning and keep going even after your heart has been shattered. Vanessa once mocked me for being alone. But the truth was, I was never alone. I had my son. I had my dignity. And unlike her perfect-looking life, mine was real. Sometimes the people who humiliate others are secretly fighting battles they're desperate to hide. And sometimes, the quietest person in the room, in this case, an 8-year-old boy, speaks the truth everyone else is too afraid to say.